witches, and welcome back to Candlelight Chats. So last week I was unwell. Oh my goodness. And if you are also feeling unwell, just know that I got you. One, I know the flu is going around. That was not my issue. I was just like mentally, it was a thing. But the point of Candlelight Chats is to have a grounding moment per week. So this week I'm trying to give you guys two. Our first one is going to come on the day of the full moon in Leo, and I'm so excited. If you guys don't know, I am a big lunar witch. I love working with the moon. I love that energy. And this full moon in Leo is also known as the snow moon. Now, I do have kind of a guide to the different moons. I'm not sure if I'm going to revisit that because I feel like we did a pretty good job on that. So check out some of my other videos if you're interested. But for this full moon in Leo, I really wanted to touch on a few things with you guys and how you can really use this full moon to your benefit in your practice. So to recap just a little bit, for you guys who don't know, we are celebrating the full moon today on February 12th. So yay, I'm so excited. The full moon is always going to be in the sign that is the opposite of the sun. So right now we are, I think we're like right at the end of Aquarius season, right at the beginning of Pisces. So it is going to be the full moon in Leo. Now, the snow moon is called that because, well, it's snowing. It's actually snowing today as I'm filming this. But this moon brings energies of cleansing, purification, and also encourages us to engage with beauty and self-care, which, listen, Leos, I swear I can spot a Leo by the head of hair that they have because it's always fabulous. Mine is sticking up in a million different directions today, but that's my authenticity, right? The full moon in Leo is also all about courage. And I really find that the strength card in tarot, being a tarot reader, is one that I very much associate with Leo. Now, that might just be because most of the time the strength card depicts a lion, Leo being the lion. But if you guys don't know, the lion in the card isn't what's showing the strength. It's the woman who has usually her hand in the lion's mouth or the ribbon around the lion's mouth. The strength card reminds us to engage with quiet strength as well as loud strength, because it's perfectly fine, right, to be like loud and angry, and sometimes, especially right now, that might be valid. But what is your quiet strength? What are those quiet moments where you swallow your pride just a little bit and keep it pushing? Because that's what you have to do in that moment. The full moon in Leo gives us an opportunity to pause and contemplate what strength looks like to you and how you can cultivate a greater sense of it in your practice. This full moon in Leo asks us to have the courage to be ourselves, right? And sometimes that means that we need to set some new boundaries or set some new routines. This is energy that's being carried over from Imbolc, right? This full moon in Leo also asks us to lean into courage, right? Which, oh my gosh, being brave and being courageous, being strong, I feel like we're always being asked to do that, especially in the 21st century. It's like, just grind harder, work longer hours, be stronger, work 2 jobs, you know, you have bills to pay and things to do and responsibility, and that's so much. I totally get it. So this full snow moon in Leo gives us this opportunity to kind of have this almost like blank slate, like a little bit of new moon energy, as well as this opportunity to step into a greater sense of authenticity, to be courageous in the way that we express ourselves, and courageous in the way that we are strong, right? In the way that we navigate this world, because there's a lot being thrown at us 24/7 right now. So I want to, again, I'm probably going to validate that a lot or say that a lot in these videos, but it is a lot. So thank you for being here. In 2025, the full moon in Leo really calls us to lead by example, right? And sometimes that is being really courageous and refusing to conform, right? I know we talked a little bit about that last time. Something that I hear a lot in this space is, oh my gosh, I just started and I feel like I can't even call myself a witch. And that's totally fine. You don't have to. But you can show me, right? Leading by example or living by example, choosing to live in a way that benefits you holistically is not hurting anybody else or yourself, of course. By embracing things that make us us, we're saying like, bye-bye imposter syndrome. Like, no, I have done the work. I can prove to myself that I'm living my life in the way that I wish. So maybe during this full moon, you can put some intentions out there or really start to take steps towards setting these new routines for yourself and centering who you are at your core at the front of your practice. So if that means that you are really, really interested in crystals, maybe it's time to like pull out your crystal guidebook or be really sure that you're cleansing or charging them in the moonlight tonight. I know we talked about like water witches. So maybe during the snow moon, you collect some snowfall, some snow water, and use that to cleanse your space. This full moon really is all about the energy of cleansing, resetting, and moving forward. That's kind of a really big theme right now, right? We talked about during Imbolc, getting rid of the old stagnant energy, and tonight during this full moon might be a good time to finalize any of that. What are the last few things on your to-do list, and how can you get them done maybe in the next few days, maybe next weekend, but just choosing them today under the full moon and intentionally moving forward. That's a magical act, right? Like that's powerful work. You're making space for yourself to grow in your practice. And that isn't something that should be sneezed at. Just because it's not lighting candles and burning herbs doesn't mean it's not alchemy, right? And you're physically changing things, you're moving things around, you're moving energy. So you should be proud of that too. We're still in the winter time, so don't feel too pressured to, be like this big blossoming, like don't feel pressured to be your springtime self, right? We're still in the winter phase of things, but I don't know if you feel it. Maybe it's just my Virgo tendency. I definitely have been feeling the spring cleaning vibes. So we'll talk a little bit about that next week. Now, on the other side of things, I really encourage you guys to step into a space of creativity tonight. The full moon is really energetic, and I know that sometimes people can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. So if you're feeling too overwhelmed to practice, I totally understand. There are limitless ways that you can be creative. Maybe it is doing a really crazy, silly makeup style and taking some pictures and like posting them on Instagram before you go wash it off in the shower. Like maybe posting it on your Finsta, depending on how crazy it looks. Maybe it is like playing dress up and engaging with that inner child a little bit more, or making a really beautiful, like well-rounded meal for yourself if you haven't been doing that. I definitely fall into the trap of like mac and cheese every night. So maybe get some protein in there, guys. Maybe this is the night that you start your grimoire. Maybe you wanted to during Imbolc and you started grabbing all of your supplies and stuff, but maybe this is the first full moon that you feel energized enough to do something. Whatever that creative call is, I hope that you can kind of do so under the light of the full moon and make it an intentional practice. Other little key reminders perhaps for tonight, of course, make some moon water. Double points if you take some snow, if you can collect some snow, let it melt and then charge that under the full moon for the full snow moon. I love doing that. It's supposed to snow tonight, so I'm definitely going to try to put like a little bowl out and then collect what I can. It's never a whole lot. I'm always like, yes, it's going to snow so much, and then I always end up with like that much water. If you wanted to, just remember to put out all of your crystals and stuff if you wanted to charge them under the full moon, and just take some time to really center and ground yourself tonight. If you're seeing this maybe after the 12th, that's okay. Between the 12th and maybe the 28th, which is when we have, I believe, our next new moon, maybe think about some of these themes and how you can start implementing them. We're heading into the waning phase of the moon, so your energy might feel a little bit more slow, or maybe like internal, like, hey, I need to do some internal reflection and figure out what needs to happen for the spring. Anything that you can do to honor that in the next couple days is going to be awesome too. So however you're coming to your practice, I appreciate you being here for our little grounded candlelight chat. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.